Welcome to Everyday Amazing. I am your host, Guy Alton. And you know, I created this show because I wanted to highlight amazing people with inspiring stories to tell. And this next guest that I'm going to show you all definitely has an amazing story. He created this amazing app, but don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at it and you'll see what it's all about.
We are so excited to host the first Dance It after school dance family event. The kids are looking so forward to it. Catalyst is so excited to use, not just for after school programs, but for camps. You can see the kids are so excited. They are bouncing off the walls, and we will follow up with how awesome this event is going to be. We are so glad that we are here with Dance It representatives, and we just can't wait to get started.
Great stuff, right? I mean, I was just watching that kind of made me want to dance and kind of want to move, right? So we're going to have E.L Lucas, the creator actually of Dance It, on the show tonight, and he's going to tell us all about what went into creating Dance It. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with E.L Lucas, who created Dance It.
Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton.
Peace, everybody. I'm Miss Mariana, and you are watching Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my next guest, E.L Lucas, to the show.
How you doing?
How you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay, all right. I'm glad to have you, as a guest on the show. This app is amazing, first off.
Appreciate it.
But before we talk about the app, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into game creation.
Well, game creation, it's a long journey. So it started from, as a kid, I've been into art and drawing and sketching and doodling. Mm-hmm. And then from there, when I got into college, I got into graphic design. And so from there, graphic design led to user experience design and then the creation of my game, Dance It.
So when you were in graphic design, did you already kind of know that you wanted to create an app, or did you just stumble into it, or was it this was kind of like a plan that you had once you got to college?
I didn't know I wanted to create an app. I know that I always wanted to create something that's mine. So just, whether it be art, whether it be drawing, something of that nature. But the app was, it really came out of an idea on a camping trip. So from there, we were playing a game with a couple buddies. They didn't know names of dances, so we put names of dances in a bowl, drew it out, looked it up on YouTube, and they had to dance the dance out, and we just guessed from there, and that's how the app developed. And then I just figured out a way to turn it into an app.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that journey of turning it into an app. How's that been so far?
It's been numerous iterations. So, when you first start, you just have an idea, paper and pencil, drawing it out, sketching it out. From there, I was trying to figure out, what's the best way to kind of show the video format. At first I was just using names only, and then I found out through the research I did that people didn't really know the names of dances. You show them the name, I don't know what that is. Maybe they know the sprinkler, but do they know, the two-step or walk it out or things of that nature. So we figured out a way to put it in a video format. So at first I was going to do YouTube, and then I didn't want to deal with the API and pulling it from there, so I ended up doing it in GIF format. So every dance now is in GIF format.
Okay, so talk to me a little about the research that goes into learning all these different dances. Because as you just mentioned, what was it, sprinkler?
Yeah,
I don't even know that. So where's that from?
I mean, for me, it's just a history of pop culture in my head, probably, that I've acclimated over the years. So, you started, I have a database of over 400 plus dances that I've gone from research. So that spans anywhere from the 50s all the way to current trends that you see on TikTok nowadays.
So you said that the idea originally started from a game on a camping trip. And then from there, obviously, that's how Dance It came to be. But what, you yourself, whatever, do you consider yourself a big dancer, or is it why dance?
I'm not a big dancer. I have a mean two-step, and that's about it. But I just think dance brings joy to everybody. I've never seen someone dance and not be smiling, not having fun, not having a good time. Whether it's a person dancing offbeat, a person dancing on beat, dance is that one form that people can all relate to. And you can see it now, even with TikTok, as big as dances are everywhere. So I think dance is that one form that is draws everybody in.
I would agree with you. It brings people together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's one of those things you don't have to be good or bad at it as long as you're doing it and trying. I think you get appreciation, or you get some type of reaction at least, from everybody. So, okay, numerous iterations, right? Tell me a little bit about what's been the most challenging aspect of creating Dance It.
Really bringing awareness to it. I mean, I think the hard part of when you create anything is like you can create something, but then like bringing awareness, letting people know there's an app, and then having people actually use the app. So that's been I think the most difficult part for me is just having to tell everybody. I'm always talking about my app with everyone every day. I'm sharing it. I have an app. If you see me anywhere, I'm going to be talking about Dance It.
I mean, I definitely can relate to that. When I first created my show, that was, and it continues to be, like I said, probably the most challenging part is, like I said, bringing awareness, letting people know about it, and then getting people to support it, right? So for you, when you first told like your family and friends, was it like well received? Was it, hard to get your family and friends to back it? Or was it just like, yeah, no matter what I'm doing, you have our support?
Well, I mean, my family knows I'm a little bit creative, so I'm always coming up with different things. So they're always going to be supportive, and it's something that the family can get behind. My aunt was loving it; she's doing the Dance It. We played the game during holidays and trying it out. My kids, they have been my guinea pigs for every dance on there, every category. Figuring out what's hot, what's not. They're more knowledgeable than I am. So yeah, my family's been really supportive of the whole process.
So you say your kids were, your test subjects for the dances. Were there dances that they knew about that you didn't know about that they had to teach you?
They are always teaching me dances. So
Okay.
there's all these new TikTok dances. I go through like music and the pairing of music with the dances to see what's out there. So they're always telling me, showing me, this is the new dance. I think Wade is one of the dances that they're telling me about. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you're on TikTok, you see these dances all the time. But yeah, so they're constantly updating me. And then for me, I have like I said, extensive knowledge of dances in my head now from just doing this app.
From just doing it. And as new dances come up, you're constantly like updating Dance It and basically to make sure that the latest dances will be on Dance It.
Sometimes. So
Okay.
a lot of times people aren't even up to date on dances in that way. So I try to keep it as simple as possible so it's most engaging. So oftentimes what I found is that even though, I do have dances that span generations or like hip hop from the 2000s, 90s, but what really comes down to is just like people having fun and doing gestures. So sometimes a dance can be as simple as gesture. Somebody could do a bunny hop and they can consider that a dance. Or somebody, like the sprinkler I was telling you about, it's just this kind of motion here, and it's really simple. Some may consider a dance, some may consider a gesture. So that's always the thing. But I try to keep it simple and engaging so that as many people can participate as possible.
Now, with you doing all this research, did you notice that, because I got to ask for like, it just comes to me, is there a certain state or city that just had way more dances coming out of it than others? Or what city had the most popular dances?
So when it comes to regions, I would say Atlanta is probably the mecca of dance.
Okay.
Chicago, where my family is from, shout out to Chicago.
Okay.
They have a lot of dances, and then the Bay Area, of course, has created numerous dance trends as well.
Okay, so we got Atlanta, all right.
Atlanta, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear no New York on there. Huh?
New York New York actually started a lot of dance trends. So a lot of trends came out of New York. So New York does have its fair share of dances as well. The East Coast in general, one of the newest dances like the sturdy or the stiff hips are out of the East Coast. So those are some of the hot dances right now as well.
Now, do you notice, as with you doing all your research, that like obviously pop culture and like athletes, right? Especially we have the Super Bowl coming up. Anytime someone scores a touchdown, people are usually looking to see what type of celebration, what type of dance they're going to do, right? Have you noticed during your research that plays a big part into like what dances get super popular or people really start to know because of certain athletes doing those dances?
Oh yeah. So if you look, we do have a sports category on our game.
Okay.
But and I'd love to partner with an organization like the NFL to kind of showcase that. But the biggest dance that we see with the kids that's trending right now is the gritty. I don't know if you've seen the gritty, but
I have, yeah.
everyone is doing the gritty. Justin Jefferson made it famous on the Vikings, and it is swept like wildfire through the kids, and they're doing it at every instance. Whenever I throw, so I do dance parties as well for kids, and the gritty is one of the go-to dances.
Gritty, okay, all right. Now I understand like you just recently had a partnership with a few schools, correct?
Yeah, so we partnered with a local after-school care out in the Rockland area, and we're just in the process of partnering with another school out there as well, where we did an hour dance party. We bring the kids out. We did almost like Soul Train line, but the kids walked up to the camera, did their favorite dances, and then we did a dance party. So they competed in the teams and they played against one another.
So something that stands out, something like that, man, is almost used as a way. It's fun, but also it keeps the kids active, right? So like an exercise tool. So is that what most schools are looking to use it for, or is it more like a party thing that maybe if kids, everyone turned in their homework or something like that, they get a dance party?
Yeah, it could be a reward, but I mean, it's definitely aligned. We aligned our game with all kind of fitness standards that go into school, so we're definitely a fitness app as well, and we make sure that we are fun as well. So it's fun. It's also a learning tool. So oftentimes people don't know the names of dances, so there's a memorization that comes with it. You're learning what the name of that dance was. I know what it is, but I think but you don't quite know. So there's learning. So sometimes what we see is that when kids are playing it, they're doing the same category twice and still having as much fun as with it because they don't know the name of dances. They're learning the name and still having fun dancing.
I mean, and they can go home and teach their parents.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we have parents coming too. So sometimes in the after school one, parents were participating. They were dancing. They were guessing. It was a real blast.
I mean, it's similar to what we said earlier, where, like I said, dance brings everybody together. So no matter whether you know the dance or not, just the fact that you're trying and you're being active and you're participating, you're gonna get some joy out of that. And joy is contagious. So by them doing that and everyone having a good time, it just makes people want to dance.
Exactly. So that's it. Everything turns into a party. So if you play Dance It, it usually turns into a party afterwards. Some people are very competitive in the game. I did a game night with some friends and it got kind of competitive. But after that, it just turned into a party. Music blasting, people are dancing, people are learning new dances. I taught some ladies at the party a new line dance called the Flex line dance. But you're learning new dances all the time.
So with that being said, what do you think separates Dance It from other similar dance apps?
I think it's the ease of use. So it's the app itself is a heads-up style game that you hold on your head, and then if you get it right, you just put it down. If you get it wrong, you skip it or pass. So it's really simple to use. So people are familiar with that kind of heads-up game play, and then just the numerous amount of dances. So what we do is we try to keep it fun. We have a silly category on there. We have easy kid dance category on there. We just we even created a category for you tonight, Sky. So I can't wait to see you dance.
I don't know how good of a dancer I am, but you know what? Like I said earlier, I'm always willing to try and put my best foot or best shoulder forward, and we're gonna see how it goes. Before we get into me dancing, I kind of want to, for the people out there watching this who may be thinking about creating an app, like you said, you had an idea, and the most challenging part is bringing awareness to it. So for someone who may have a similar idea, what advice would you give to them who's looking to get their app out, or just maybe looking to start something and wants to basically bring to life their idea?
I would say test it early. I mean, I think the one thing about Dance It that I found is that people enjoy it. So I think if a lot of times you have an idea and it may not be a good idea. So I'd say test it with your family, test it with your friends, and let them know. So if someone told me along the way that this was a terrible app, I probably would have abandoned it. But a lot of times what I get is feedback on dances, or do you guys have this dance? But nobody ever says, this is a horrible app. So if they were, I think that's the thing. You find out if it really is a good idea first, and then from there build it from there. And there's easy ways to do that. You can test it with the paper model. If you just have an app and you're using paper, say, okay, if I do it this way, you can test it with online tool. I use Figma, which is an online design tool. So it's just a matter of just find your medium and test it and see if it's really a good idea first.
Okay, so I like that. So test it out first. Then as far as the business side, I know you said awareness is one of the hardest parts. What advice would you give to someone out there who maybe is having trouble getting not just awareness, but also, because obviously the technical side, you got that on lock or whatever, but when it comes to partnering with schools and partnering with businesses, what advice would you give to someone looking to reach that aspect of getting their app out there?
I would say talk to everybody. That's one thing I do is I talk to everybody about my app. I mean, if you have a conversation with me, and we're sitting down, I'm going to bring up my app, what I'm doing. I'm going to ask you what you're doing to see if there's a way that we can combine that. So, whatever it is, we can go to a corporate, we can do corporate events. I have an event on Friday with a lawyer group. We did an event for a Black Girls Running Group where we did their holiday event. We did an icebreaker event for them. So, but it's because through those connections, I'm constantly networking and seeing how we can make this app blend with whoever we talk with.
So you don't rule anybody out.
I don't rule anybody out. I think dance is universal, so I don't rule anybody out.
No, but I think that's good advice because, like I said, there could be somebody out there who, like I said, maybe not a dance app, but maybe it's just looking because tech is big right now, especially like mobile games, and they may have an idea and they just may not know how to like go about it. Like a lot of times I find out that people really have like there's a lot of people out there who want to do something and want to like follow their passion or whether be their passion or their dream, but they just don't know how to start, right? And so having someone like you who is doing it and basically talking about it and giving them advice and basically telling them like, hey, these are steps that you need to do, I think that's really helpful, And like I said, by you doing this, whatever, you're gonna help somebody else out there. So yeah, like I said, I definitely think that what you're doing, whatever, is gonna be good for Sacramento. But anybody who wants to use it, and just having people like you who are giving back to the community, is what this show is supposed to be about. So, but before we get into me dancing, because I know y'all,
I'm ready.
Everybody wants to see me do that. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back after these messages.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Hi, my name is Sky Alton, host of Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton. And this episode is powered by thegreengiantdelivery.com. Log on for all your cannabis needs. That's thegreengiantdelivery.com.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Welcome back to the show. I am still here with game creator E.L Lucas, and before we went to the break, we were talking about Dance It, and I know people have been waiting because they want to see me bust out these fancy dance moves.
We're ready.
So we're gonna play it, but before we play it, tell me a little bit about how we play it and describe to me what I need to do and what you need to do, and so the people out there understand how to play it.
Okay, Dance It is a mobile app, so it's available on the app stores, iOS, Google Play. Typically, you hold the phone up above, the person does a dance. Usually, you get a group of people dancing, and then when they get it right, you move it down. You get it right, you move it up. And this way, we created a desktop version for you today so that you can play, and so we're ready to see what you got.
Sky Alton's Everyday Amazing Dances. Okay, I like that. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm gonna do the dances and then you're gonna guess.
Yep.
All right, get ready.
All right, show me what you got here. One more click and they should be able to go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, that's the hitchhiker. I know that one. There you go. Okay.
All right.
The snake.
Okay, all right.
Snake, okay. Oh, everyone knows this. This is the robot. Air guitar.
Okay, all right. Oh, this that one.
Oh, the swim. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Had you stopped for a minute.
I thought you were going Macarena at first.
Okay, we're gonna
dab.
Okay, all right.
Oh, the whoa. There you go.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know if I can do this in the chair, but
hey, cowboy rodeo, that same one. There you go. And of course, the sprinkler. You can't go wrong with the sprinkler, man. It's a classic. And that's the bankhead bounce again. There you go. You got it.
All right.
All right, time's up.
Man, 100%, man.
Yeah,
I know. I tried to stump you a little bit.
I saw it. You had me almost with the one I thought was the Macarena.
You know what it is, with the suit on, it's a little hard to move, but we got it done.
You got some moves, guy.
But no, what I like about Dance It, like you said, is the ease of use, right? I definitely see this as something that families, anybody, can get into and have fun with. I'm excited to be able to announce that we've partnered together and we'll be using Dance It, in other episodes with other guests. And like I said, I think it brings a much needed element to dance and togetherness, because dance is contagious,
exactly.
And it doesn't take much to do. Where do you see Dance It in the next year or two? Like, where would you like to see Dance It, I should say?
I love that we're going to adopt it for your show. I think it fits well in any kind of one-on-one situation where people can play a game. But I see Dance It, and we're going to be doing summer camps coming up soon. So schools, any kind of after-school care, daycare in that nature, I want to be there, but also want to have Dance It at every party night, game night, any situation like that. We will be also bringing Dance It to the Black Joy Parade in Oakland at the end of February, and then numerous schools coming up here in the summertime as well.
I like that. I mean, like you said earlier, you never kind of like rule a person out. You never know what they can bring like to the table. And so like the fact that you're diverse with the places that you're trying to bring Dance It, I think you're going to go far with that. And, that's really going to help you be like successful with it, because again, I can't think of a place where this wouldn't be a fun game, right? Like conference parties, kids parties, or just like you said, friends hanging out on a camping trip.
Exactly.
Like I said, I really think you've created something that can be in like every home.
Yeah, so go download it today. Download, again, any app store, Apple Store, Google Play, go download Dance It.
Yeah, we're going to make sure, we promote that, every time, like, we play it, I'm going to make sure to tell people, like, hey, like, to download it. And we, like, the show is meant to highlight, people who are doing amazing things. And like I said, for you to just have an idea and follow through with it and be able to achieve it is not something that, a lot of people do, but we want more people to. You know what I mean? We want to bring that. And that's like the goal of the show, is to hopefully inspire others to basically follow through with their ideas.
No, definitely. If you have an idea, get it out your head, get it down wherever you need to do, and share it with the world.
So, before we let you go, there's something that just, the whole time we've been talking that stood out to me, and I kind of got to ask this. I know where you said that, like, the idea for Dance It came from, but I want to know more about like you and like where your drive came from, whatever, because like I said, it's not easy, and you can attest to that. It hasn't been easy to get to this point, right? And you're still growing. Where do you think you get a lot of that drive from to keep, trying to make Dance It as big as it can be?
I mean, for me, it's something innate where I just don't want to see, an idea and have it sit on the shelf, have me look back, years from now and say, I didn't give everything I could to this idea. So I think it's the biggest form of, like, I don't want to regret, having an idea, creating something, and then saying, oh, well, I put it out there, that was enough. I wanted to, tell everybody about it. So I don't want to leave it, leave anything done. So I want to give it my all, 110%, go above and beyond for my idea. So that's really what drives me.
Okay. And would you say that just, you said it's innate, but do you think like, your upbringing or your parents, whatever, inspired a lot of that in you? Or is it just, something that's just like I was born with this, like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was born with it. I mean, I've always been a creative, but, turning your creative ideas, and building something for yourself rather than for somebody else is different. And I think from there, it's just a matter of like taking what's mine and sharing with the world and just seeing the joy that it brings. So, what I love about it is that, everyone has a good time. You're over here dancing. Anytime we play Dance It, the people are left having a good time, and they talk about how much fun they had.
Just like what you just said right there, having something like that's yours and, and following through with it, that makes me think of like, you being a developer, I understand, I could be wrong, but it's a very competitive field, correct? Like with people trying to, create games and basically get the credit and have something as their own. Would you say that, or? I
mean, there's a lot of mobile games out there, so there is trying to find that niche where your game stands out is difficult. But I think that it's going to be competitive no matter what you do. So, there's a lot of runners in the world. There's a lot of basketball stars, a lot of things. Just, go out there. If that's something you're passionate about, just go and do it. And then, see how the world receives it.
Good advice. Very, very good advice. I relate to that a lot just because me, myself, when I first created this show, I created it because there was no late night shows in Sacramento. And then two, I just felt like, I had this vision and it was something that like I had to see through, right? And similar to like what you said earlier, I tested it out with, friends and family and kind of like shared the idea, and, then you eventually like you shoot something and you show people, and no one ever said like, don't do the show,
I love it.
Thankfully, no one ever said don't do the show. But like you get feedback, right? You see areas where you can improve. But from that, you keep pushing and, you keep getting better, right?
Exactly.
And so, like I said, like your story, like I really identify with it a lot. And that's why, like, I I keep asking you questions about it because I want people out there or whatever to basically, be where you're at one day. And what I mean by that is just basically following through like with their idea, And like I said, because you come from a field where, like I said, it's a very competitive field. But here you are, this idea that you have or whatever is standing out amongst like some of the other like dance apps out there, some of the other like mobile games out there or whatever. And so, and you're putting in the work, and I feel like that's the aspect that like I want people really to take away from like watching you and like seeing you is that like, this isn't like overnight.
Oh yeah, definitely not overnight. This was a year in the making, probably 3 years from idea to development. And then, even right now, this is an everyday process where I'm reaching out to anybody. Again, I tell everybody, I'm reaching out to numerous schools, after school care, I just sent, invoices or bids to different school districts as well. I'm always calling contacts constantly to see where I can bring Dance It to them.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man. I really do. So before we let you go, man, I want you to tell people, obviously you can tell them again where to download the app, but how do they get in contact with you? Like, let's say someone's watching this and then they want to like reach out to you. They want to, maybe they want to do a deal with you, or maybe they just have questions with it. How can the people get in touch with you?
We're on social media, so Instagram at Dance It App, TikTok at Dance It App. We monitor all those channels. Feel free to reach out to me on there, and I'll be more than happy to have that conversation. I'd love for that. So if you want to bring it to your school, your business, your college, your wherever you think of, Dance It can be there. So and that is where you can find us.
And download it on Apple and
Google
Android.
Play. Yep, Google Play, iOS Store, Apple Store. Dance It App, DANCEIT exclamation point. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, man, for coming on the show and sharing, and just basically I'm talking all about dance, and I'm so happy to be partner with you because, like I said, I think that my future guests are gonna love this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait to see future episodes where your guests are dancing as well.
All right. To the people out there, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts or TV shows. Until next time, I'll see you then.